Welcome everybody, and we are done putting up our Christmas lights. As you can see, we have put all of them up over the last month and a half or so. A little bit during the week we would work on them. I have about 800 Tru-Tone bulbs that are up and 3,460 Twinkly lights that are covering the rest of the house. About 50 incandescent bulbs that are the twinkle bulbs that are on the roof. Our whole family spent a couple weekends putting them all up, so everybody was involved. It was a lot of fun. I've been showing the progress of different sections, but in today's video I'm going to go through all of it during the daytime about how it's connected and how everything's powered, and then I'll come back in the evening and show everybody what it looks like at night. Thank you for following along, and let's do a tour about our lights now that we are finally done. So we're going to start from where the power comes from the house and goes to the lights. The first set of lights we have are the Tru-Tone lights, and they are set to go from dusk to dawn. They will go all night long, and we have one wire that goes to the steps, one wire that goes around the bottom and the bushes, and one wire that goes to the roof of the house. So all of the Tru-Tone lights are set to this one outlet, and they are run from dusk to dawn. On the second plug-in of this outlet, we have an extension cord that runs to the trees. So this always has power to another controller at the end, so I can have them run separately. But now let's come look at the door. On my door, I have Classic Color by Tru-Tone. There are 24 of them. There are 2 red and 1 white, and they go all the way around the door. They look really nice. I only put 1 white for each 2 reds so that the white wouldn't overpower it, so you definitely see the red, but the door looks nice with the red and white. So now let's come look at the steps. So around the steps we have Classic Color Red, and Candle Glow White. So I have red and white that go on both sides of the steps. So they do a pretty good job. I like the red glow from the Classic Color. There's just enough white to keep it bright so you can see, and it matches the front door pretty well. We decided to go with the Candle Glow White because we just like the way that the clear white looks. But we use the Classic Color Red because it really has that nice vintage look. On the tops of the steps, I have these pre-made garlands from Christmas designers. I don't usually buy garland that has lights pre-made put into them, but these are the ProChristmas brand lights, and I really like them. They are LED, but they have a nice white glow. So I really like the way these come out, and I've used these for a few years, and that's what I have on top of the steps. So these garland lights are just plugged into a female vampire plug that I put on my Christmas light wire so that I can plug them in right here. So when these lights turn on, these will turn on too. So it's real simple. They have a short little plug, and they're just plugged right into this vampire plug that I added. Coming down the front of the steps, I have these really tall light stakes that I'm using, and I have Jeweltone Red and I have Candle Glow White going along the side of this house. I really like them, but these tall Christmas light stakes are really nice for the front of the house compared to the small ones that I'm using over here. And these are the same colors, and these are the lights that go all the way around the house. So these will go from the front of the house all the way around to the back, but I really like how they look, but these are not the tall ones. I only use the tall ones on one side over here. You can see how much taller they are on the right versus on the left. So I think both of them have a good use, but for right here, I really like the tall one. When we put these in, there were some plants behind here, but we've taken them out for the winter. That's partly why we chose the tall ones for this side. So on the bushes, we have 2 sets of light. We will start with the twinkly lights that are also on here, and they require power all the time. So they are in this waterproof box. So this is where this extension cord from the house is coming. And as you can see, these giant twinkly plugins are right here in this box to stay dry. The antennas are right here. I like to keep them off the ground so that they don't get wet. And then I have a 3-end right here with one extension cord going out here to the other sensor that will go on about the same time as the other one turns on, but this is only on for 4 hours because this controls the tree that I'll get to in a minute. But the other lights that are on here are Jeweltone Green right here and Classy Color Green right here, and there were also some incandescent twinkle bulbs that I have right here. So there are 3 types of green bulbs on here, and there are twinkly lights. The twinkly lights will turn off about 10 o'clock. There's so many twinkly lights on here that you can't really see all of the Tru-Tone lights that are on, but at 10 o'clock, the twinkly lights turn off, and then for the rest of the night, you just have the green Tru-Tone and incandescent twinkle lights that will stay on the rest of the night. And that just gives you the part of the vintage look that goes on all night. And on the front of the house, around this brick, I have hot glued C7 red and white classic color, same colors that are on the front door, and they go all around the front windows and around the bottom. And they're just using an extension cable that I made, and they connect to a wire up here on my roof lights. So on the bushes I have twinkly lights, and I also took tomato cages and wrapped them in twinkly lights right here on the front of the house. There are 4 of them, and I really like the effect that they're adding this year. So last year I just used random lights, but this year they are all connected to the twinkly lights that are on the front bushes. The front of the garage also has 2 large bushes, and they have twinkly lights wrapped around them. They also sync with the rest of the house. And around the top of the garage, I have icicle lights, also by Twinkly, that kind of connects the 2 bushes on each side. And then I've also added some Jeweltone red and some candle glow white from the Jeweltone, same that I use around the bottom of the house, and I think it gives the front garage a really good look. So I have twinkly lights on the garage, down that bush, and along the side of my driveway. Last year I ran them over, so I moved them a little bit further away this year, and I still ran them over, backing out one day. So you can see the inside of these C9 twinkle lights. It's really just an LED diode inside of these big plastic bulbs. So they're not terribly bright, but it does add a cool effect to the bottom of the driveway. So I have 2 wrapped trees. I really like them. This is my green and blue tree. I use ProChristmas lights that are the coaxial kind. As you can see, I have them all plugged in right here. I have videos about all of these things that I'll put up in the corner. But this also will turn on at the same time as the twinkly lights, but I'm using this Wi-Fi controller right here, which is also a dimmer. And thankfully, when it turns back on, it connects to the internet, and it will turn off at 10 o'clock. So both of my trees that are wrapped will turn off at 10 o'clock. And like I said, I just have the Tru-Tone that will be on all night, but that's what I'm using to control this tree. And then the other wire on this controller goes along the bottom and controls my little white trees that I have planted. So these are little trees from Target. They just light up, and they will also turn off around 10 o'clock. And as you can see, I have the Jeweltone white and red all along the bottom that go all the way around to the back of the house. So along the bottom here, we have Jeweltone red and we have candle glow that go all the way around to the back. And on these 2 windows, we have more red and white classic color in the C9 size all around the window. They're just clipped on with little clips that go in like here. And then they are plugged in to the front green bushes. So when those are on, these are on. And then I have candles that I like, Vermont 411 or something. Those are candles that I really like. They're LED and they plug in. And on the top, we have more classic color red and white, but every 3rd red bulb is a twinkle bulb that will twinkle. So it adds a little bit of movement to all these lights on the side of this house, which I really like, or else they're just kind of stagnant and on. But those are incandescent because Tru-Tone does not make a twinkle bulb. So all the way around the front are twinkle. And then right here, I have a giant blue tree that I use. So on my green and blue LED wrapped tree, I have these Jeweltone Blue that will be on all night by Tru-Tone with some incandescent twinkle bulbs that will be with them. So that's my big blue tree on the front of the house. There's green and blue LED. Blue Tru-Tone lights will stay on all night. Here I have more C9 red and white, and this is all connected to one strand around the house. On the front of my house, I can't reach the top. It's about 29 feet to the top, and my ladder doesn't reach that tall, so I have built something to put inside the window. So let me show you that real quick. So up here I have my candle and my custom built frame that has C9 classic color all around the end, and I put them exactly where I want them so that they don't get blocked by the windowsill. So I had a cord and I put every single one of these sockets in a perfect spot. So that's why they are not all the same distance apart. But I made this just to fit in this window, and I just hot glued the bulb holders to the wood so that they would stay. Pretty simple, but I've been able to use this now for a second year. On my other side of my house is my favorite wrapped tree. I wrap these ProChristmas lights around the branches all the way up using the same coaxial connections that I really like. I have one power cord coming all the way in, and it has a 3-piece at the top where I can plug in, so there's always power to this. And this is set to dusk to dawn, and this goes up to these long icicle lights that I'll show you. And then this is on a timer to only be on for 4 hours. And these are the lights that go to my tree. And the cool thing about this tree is I can change the colors. These lights will turn off. So all night long we'll have the Tru-Tone bulbs that are connected to this sensor. So one wire comes down to these Tru-Tone bulbs and they go all the way around the tree. And then they come around and they go back along this way up to the side of the house where I have some more red and white along the gutter. The other set that comes out of here comes to these icicle lights. First are these cheaper ones that I got from Target, and they go around, but the ones that I think are really cool are these giant ones that I have on the tree. So these are 2 feet long and these are 3 feet long, and these are commercial grade lights that plug in with a C9 connector up there. But as you can see, they are huge and they look really, really cool at night. So these are some of my favorite icicle lights, but these are all individually purchased in different sizes. And then there's the tree with the lights around the bottom. So that is how everything is set up. And now let's check it out in the night. And all of the work on the lights are finally done. I have my favorite colored tree over here to the left. I really like this. All of these under here are twinkly lights that are going red and white right now. And around the garage are the Tru-Tone Jeweltone lights. Down here we have more twinkly lights, Jeweltone around the door, Jeweltone around the ground. These are the ProChristmas lights up in the tree with the Jeweltone that are wrapped around. And on the bushes are more twinkly with these 4 lights down here. So at night what happens is all the twinkly lights and the trees will turn off, and we will only have Tru-Tone on that go the rest of the night. So now that I've kind of quickly pointed them all out, let's look at everything closer. Real quick, this is what everything looks like with all of the lights on, and let me turn off all of the lights besides the Tru-Tone, and you can see what runs all night long. So this is what it looks like at night with all of the LED lights turned off. There's a few that stay on right here on the steps, but the rest are the Tru-Tone around the garage, around the house, up here. And then the giant icicle lights will stay on over here with a little bit of Tru-Tone up at the top, like I mentioned. But all of the twinkly across the garage and on the bushes come down. One thing if I could change would maybe add some more twinkly next year to these 2 bushes on the front just to light them up. But I really like how they glow all night long. And you can see some of the twinkle lights that are up along the garage right here and are up along the garage on the bottom. One thing I also wish I could change is I wish I could get up top because it does look very empty. So I need to get up there and add lights, but I'm not sure how to do that. But now that it's dark, let's come check everything out even closer. So let's start with my favorite tree. These are the ProChristmas lights that are wrapped around all the branches, and I have the 3-foot giant Snowfall lights on here that are from Christmas designers. But what I like is I have this controller and I can change the color of the tree to be whatever I want, which is a lot of fun, so I can have it match the house. But I can just change the color at different times depending on how I'm feeling for the night or what I want it to do. So one of the cool things is changing the color, and I can have it do different sequences like chase, fade, flash with the color. But I also have white and a warm white. So here's the warm white, and then there's red. So one thing I really like about this tree is all the colors are on the bottom. I have the Jeweltone by Tru-Tone, but we're gonna put it with a red and white for right now because red and white is the theme of the house. So if I can figure out how to do it, you kind of just go through everything till it shows up how we want it. And there's red and white. So now let's take a look at the garage. So here's the garage. This is one of my favorite parts of the house. I like how the lights come up on both sides. I have twinkly lights. Right now they're going through a different sequence. Every 30 seconds it's changing what the twinkly lights are doing, and they are controlled by an app, which is really cool. And so now they're doing the red and white, and it just brings everything together. And around the garage are the Jeweltone Tru-Tone red and white, and I have the same thing up top with a little candle. But I really like this part of the house where everything kind of comes together. This year I added icicle lights by Twinkly across the top, and I think it brought together the two bushes. And now it's doing the gold and white, which is really cool. So now let's come look at the front of the house. And this is the front of the house. This is where most of the action takes place in the lights. So around the top, I have Tru-Tone with the incandescent twinkle, and around the windows. And all these lights right here are the Twinkly lights. And the cool thing about Twinkly lights is they are controlled by an app. And so using the app, I can have the lights turn on or off if I'm just messing with them. I just had a lady walk by and we talked for about 10 minutes. So if you're gonna have a house that has lots of lights, you're gonna end up talking to everybody that comes by, and people are gonna stop and look, which is cool because that's what it's for. But with the Twinkly app, I can just turn off the lights. So now you can really see what the Tru-Tone lights look like that are on all night long. So these are the lights that just glow all night long until the morning. But every evening, the Twinkly lights are on just like this. The tree does turn off because they're on separate timers like I've talked about. But these are all the lights on. I really liked adding these red trees on the bottom this year. It just brought up the light show a little bit towards the front. And like I said, every 30 seconds, it's doing a different sequence. I really like the steps, and I like the jewel tone around the bottom, but I really like the classic color around the top. It just gives it that vintage look that we're looking for. And so I really like it. I'm not even having that high of a electric bill through all of this either. And so I think I was like 800 watts when I kind of checked everything. But as you can see, the Twinkly lights kind of have an effect that goes from the top all the way down and includes my tree lights on the bottom. So here's kind of everything from the whole side. When you're driving by my house, you have the Twinkly lights that go through all the bushes, my two wrapped trees, the one over there that's now doing red and white with the giant snowfall, and then we have the green with the blue, and we have Tru-Tone that are around the tree. They were blue at one time, they were on sale, and they have faded, so they look a little bit more white, but there are some blue ones in there that are still going well. And then we have the Tru-Tone that comes out here and goes all the way around to the back, and the Tru-Tone up here on the side. We'll look at that in a minute. That's the whole house from the side. Like I said, I wish I could get it up here. That's one of my goals. I have it on the windows from the inside like I showed you. And here is the last side of the house. And basically from this side, you're only gonna see Tru-Tone because I don't have any other LED lights. I had the little trees down here. It looks like 3 of them stopped working, but I have 3 right here. And one of the cool sides about this house is I had a neighbor who was going through some health issues, and before she passed, she told me she would watch the lights out her window at night as she was doing her treatments. And that really stuck with me. So every year when I'm putting them together, I just think about how the lights are affecting different people. I just talked to a lady who puts her lights up every year, and they remind her of some good things that have gone in her life, and she stopped and was talking to me for a little bit. So, you know, everybody has different reasons to put up their lights, but I think it's really cool when people talk to you about why they do. And so that just kind of meant a lot to me. And so I like hearing people's stories about why they have lights, because sometimes you just do it because it's fun. I do it because I enjoy it, my kids like it, but now I know that it means something to some of the people that walk by. Plus it's dark at 5 o'clock, so when people are just out walking their dogs, it makes them feel safer knowing that there's just more light out on the streets. So I also keep my lights up probably a little bit longer than I need to, or at least until someone really tells me to take them down, which has only happened once. But here's the side view. So I really like this side with just the red and white Tru-Tone on the top, and you can really see the incandescent twinkle lights up here. So thank you everybody for watching this year. It's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. I've talked to a lot of cool people in the comments about things they've taught me and ways I could do better, or just people that have been encouraged to put up their own lights. And so have a Merry Christmas and happy decorating.